Well, that was a little glitch. Hey, this is Alan McGuire. Let me put on some more light. I feel like I haven't been around for months, and I know I say that every time we've been gone like 1 week, but it feels like that. Hopefully you guys can hear me and all that good stuff. No, you can't. Hold on. Is that better? That should be better.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's either good or it's not good. This is the best we have right here. This is it right here.
Great.
Oh man, I feel completely discombobulated. I don't know what it is or why it is, but hey, it's Monday. Oh, it's Monday. Which one is it?
It's Monday.
Yeah, see, it's been a few days. So, all right. This is happening. This has happened. Some of you got yours, I think, by now. I don't know who's reading it yet. Really looking forward to the feedback because I really am looking forward to what you guys are thinking or think about this. So be sure to leave comments in various social media locations. Conference is coming. What else is there? We are in Proverbs 21 tonight. So, all right, let me push some buttons here and get us to the other scene. Hopefully it'll work. It wasn't working earlier. I don't know why, but it wasn't. Let's see here. There we go. And then I got to do this. 1 second. I need more hands. There we go. Does that work? Hey, look it. What are you doing up there? I can't hear you, but I'm not sure why you're up there. Hey, Alyssa, can you say something?
Hi.
All right, there you should be there. Oh, I know what I want to do. I want to do this. You know, I walk away for a few days, and I absolutely, completely forget what it is I'm supposed to be doing or how I'm supposed to be doing it. It's crazy. It's weird. Okay.
Start your Zoom video.
See? Yep. There's yet another button to push.
Hold on. Oh, you had it. Now it's gone again.
Did I push it?
You did it twice.
All
there
right.
you go.
I need a vacation. You know what? I'm not going to be here next Monday night because you know why? I'm going to go away with little Ariel. It's his trip this coming weekend. So I'm not going to tell you. I might have already told you what we're doing, but if not, you'll just have to wait for the pictures for the social media. But Ariel and we're going to take off. We're going to go and have some grandpa and grandson fun. Okay, well, geez, I haven't seen anybody in a couple weeks or something like that. Has it been a couple weeks? Huh? 3 weeks?
Yeah,
Why?
we were off too.
What was that?
We were off the last two. High Sabbath, and you were traveling the week before.
Oh my gosh! So no wonder I don't know what I'm. So it's been more than a week. So this is wow. See, there you go. Now you know why. Now I know why. Well, I missed all of you. How's everyone doing? Is everyone doing all right? Yeah? All right. Nobody found themselves sacrificing to goat demons out in the field somewhere? That's a good thing. Oh, man. People did that. That's like the craziest thing. It's like the weirdest thing. And like God's right there. Like they're out there sacrificing to goat demons in the weeds, but they can see the pillar of smoke. They can see him. He's right there. It's bizarre. I wonder how far away they went. Surely they could still see him. Well, they definitely knew he was there. What else is going on? I trust everybody had a good Passover. I trust everybody had a good 2 high Sabbaths. I trust everybody had a great Feast of First Fruits. resurrection. And I trust everybody knows that we're counting the Omer. We are on our way to Shavuot, where we will actually see a bunch of all y'alls face to face. And we'll get to sit around and have breakfast in the morning and our little chit chats. That'll be fun. It'll be good. It's a good thing. I don't know how many of you saw the Rude Awakening thing. I don't know how many of you signed up for the Passover thing there. That was fun. I was intimidated and second-guessing myself, and then Michael Rude made me very comfortable, and it made me feel at home. And it was, after that, it was cool runnings. No issues at all after that. He let his hair down, and it made me comfortable, and it was good. It was good to go. Here, I will tell you this, though. Here's what was interesting. I had come up with my little Passover Seder, I don't know, teaching, whatever you want to call it. And I was ending it with Revelation 12:17. Is that it? Is that the verse? No, I should probably look it up, huh? I'm pretty sure that's what I was ending it with. Just to make sure I'm quoting the right one. Revelation 12:17. Then the dragon became furious with the woman and went off to make war on the rest of her offspring, on those who keep the commandments of God. Because part of the theme was warfare, getting ready for the end time type thing. And so I wanted to end it with that. How do you equip people? And this is how we need to be these people. We need to be charismatic, Torah observant, charismatics. And I was going to end it with that. And it was really interesting. 3 other speakers had referenced this same verse that day. And so by the time I got up there, I'm like the 4th guy that's going to... so I declared... I did the... I guess I should have gotten permission, but I didn't. I declared that the prophetic word for the Rude Awakening Passover of 2025 was this verse, Revelation 12:17. And the part we need to focus on, or the part that needs to be focused on, is the description of the believers as charismatic Torah observers. So that was cool. That was cool. I like when that happens. One spirit, right? That's what it says. And this is what he was speaking. All right. It's good to see everybody. Thanks for being here. Thanks for tolerating all of this. Appreciate that. All right. So what we're doing here on Monday nights, if you don't know, normally, we have been going through some of the books. So we are waiting for the Rude Awakening to release their Shabbat Night Live on Romans, this guy right here, before we begin the Monday night on Romans, so that we don't lose anybody or catch ourselves, weeks down the road and a whole bunch of a new influx of people show up. That happened to us once, and there's somebody smarter than me out there that said, "Hey, you're about to do this to yourself again." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about it." Thank you, Leanne. And is the shoulder there or the elbow? Yeah, there it is. Thank you. And so we're waiting for that to air. They said probably July, August. And then we'll start Monday nights doing Romans. I'm pretty excited about it. So in the meantime, between now and then, we're going to stick to Proverbs, because we won't be able to cover the entire 31 Proverbs, but we'll be able to cover a few of them. So I think that'll be good. And it makes it easier for me, so I don't have to prepare and come up with a study and all that, so I can do all this other stuff I'm trying to do. I hope you understand. And if you don't, well, there's somebody out there right now on the Take on the World network that's doing something on Romans. So you can always go over there. Oh, man. All right. Okay, so this is what we've been doing. We've been doing Proverbs. If you're new, we're doing Proverbs. Today, it's the 21st day of April, so we're on Proverbs 21. and we're all taking, some of us are reading it all, some of us are taking portions of reading it. The idea is that it's interactive, and I'm not sitting here talking at you. So, all that, who would like to begin?
It's Monday.
And then if you're new, this silence, don't worry about it. It happens. Everyone just looks at each other.
I'm ready.
Somebody's ready?
Yeah, me.
Woo! All
So,
right.
Proverbs 21. Tell me when to stop reading.
Oh, okay.
The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. He directs it like a watercourse wherever he pleases. All a man's ways seem right to him, but the Lord weighs the heart. To do what is right and just is more acceptable to the Lord than sacrifice. Haughty eyes and a proud heart, the lamp of the wicked, are sin. The plans of the diligent lead to profit as surely as haste leads to poverty. A fortune made by a lying tongue is a fleeting vapor and a deadly snare. The violence of the wicked will drag them away, for they refuse to do what is right. The way of the guilt. All right.
So no, I just caught up, and number 2 is like really intense for me because this was like something I learned really early on. Every way of a man is right in his own eyes. A man's ways are right in his own eyes. Yeah.
That's the world.
Sorry,
today.
I'm catching up. What was that?
That's the world today, isn't it?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's that whole potter thing. The clay telling the potter all sorts of stuff. Man, there's some really good stuff here. And we can come back to it, obviously. we're looking at it real quick. Sorry, I was having to push more buttons. All right, so you left off at the end of 7, right?
Correct.
Did you want to keep going?
Up to you.
Oh, no, it's up to you. I don't see a line. What's that?
Unless someone else wants to read.
I don't see a line forming behind you.
Okay. All right, then. I'll continue. Number 8. The way of the guilty is devious, but the conduct of the innocent is upright. It's better to live on a corner of the roof than share a house with a quarrelsome wife.
Dang.
A wicked man craves evil. His neighbor gets no mercy from him. When a mocker is punished, the simple gain wisdom. When a wise man is instructed, he gets knowledge.
Yeah.
The righteous one takes note of the house of the wicked and brings the wicked to ruin. If a man shuts his ears to the cry of the poor, he too will cry out and not be answered. A gift given in secret soothes anger, and a bribe concealed in the cloak pacifies great wrath. When justice is done, it brings joy to the righteous, but terror to the evildoers. A man who strays from the path of understanding comes to rest in the company of the dead. He who loves pleasure will become poor. Whoever loves wine and oil will never be rich. The wicked become a ransom for the righteous, and the unfaithful for the upright. Better to live in a desert than with a quarrelsome and ill-tempered wife.
Man.
Number 2. In the house of the wise are stores of choice food and oil, but a foolish man devours all he has. He who pursues righteousness and love finds life, prosperity, and honor. A wise man attacks the city of the mighty and pulls down the stronghold in which they trust. He who guards his mouth and his tongue keeps himself from calamity. The proud and arrogant man, mocker, is his name. He behaves with overweening pride. The sluggard's craving will be the death of him because his hands refuse to work. All the day long he craves for more, but the righteous give without sparing. The sacrifice of the wicked is detestable. How much more so when brought with evil intent?
Wow.
A false witness will perish, and whoever listens to him will be destroyed forever. Yikes. A wicked man puts up a bold front, but an upright man gives thought to his ways. There is no wisdom, no insight, no plan that can succeed against the Lord. And the horse is made ready for the day of battle, but victory rests with the Lord.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
So then the idea is that we all interject, give our thoughts, ideas, revelations, whatever, regarding what was just read by Cynthia, without having to play the Jeopardy theme. I don't think what's his name's around here. Doug's around here to get us started. Who's going to impersonate him? Even Jason's not even here to do that.
Hi. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yay, I'm glad. I was just looking, now I lost it because I was looking at you. The sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination. How much more when he brings it with vile motives? And it's kind of like, since we came past this, weekend of people celebrating other things than they should, it's just like, that just came to my mind as, they should maybe read that proverb a little bit more. There's just so much in here. A lying witness is doomed. And sometimes we have to wait on that in our, in our justice system, because so much gets hidden. And there's a lot of truth coming out right now, but there's still a lot more to come. So, God's word just doesn't return void. We just have to keep praying and obeying and seeing what's going to happen.
We're supposed to stand on his word. And regarding delay, like you were saying, we're supposed to stand on his word, that regardless of how long it takes for it to come to pass, we stand on it because we know it's going to come to pass.
I think we're in an instantaneous society, you know, kind of like the throwaway society. We expect things to happen like now. And I know, you and I talked this past week about, I'm just waiting in the spirit on what's happening here. And sometimes, I think, wow, why can't it? There's so many things. And today was kind of a very frustrating day for me. And so we just went out for a ride, and on the way up my driveway, I saw a little eastern box turtle just sauntering across my driveway. And I'm like, God just knows how to get me out of that frustration. And so Kevin and I are just sitting there watching this box turtle walk across the driveway. But it was important to me because it got me out of that, that frustration. And I looked at, some prophecies didn't come true for 430 years or whatever, however many years, 70 years. I mean, these guys look forward to all of this, and some of them never saw it. And we're worried about, this little bit of time that, is going on here. And I'm thinking, that's just, my frustration today was like over that. And it's just like, I can't, I have to say to myself, hey, God's in control. I'm okay. And there's nothing really wrong. It was just a bunch of stuff piled up. And and a little box turtle comes walking across the driveway.
It's the little things.
So, I was thinking, I read this, or reading along when Cynthia was reading it. And then when Jane brought up, what was that, verse 23? No, 27 about the sacrifice. And then I remember back here in verse 3, to do what is right and just is more pleasing to Adonai than sacrifice. And of course, then that made me think of the New Testament, the teaching that if a man's about to bring a sacrifice, remembers, to go and reconcile because God desires obedience more than sacrifice. That just made me think, because every time there's a feast or a feast season, we're reading in Leviticus and it talks about the sacrifices that the Israelites were supposed to make, and some people kind of get a little bound up by that. They get a little bound up by, well, how do we do that? Because we can't do sacrifices now because there's no temple. Should we do something? And I remember I had those questions early on too, and I remember you teaching, first of all, that, we can't do sacrifices because there is no temple or Levitical priesthood, right, that type of stuff now. But then as I read this, I'm like, God's given us something that we should be doing, So during the feast, we can't do a sacrifice, but we can do what's right and just. We can be obedient. We can go reconcile with others that, we may have had a quarrel or a problem with. He's giving us stuff to do. I don't know if it sounds wrong, but in place of that sacrifice that we can't do now. And I think a lot of people forget that. And they're just kind of we can't do the sacrifice, so we'll just watch TV. I don't know.
Right. Or something. Yeah.
There's bits and pieces that we still can do. And I think Alan has said that as well. And I'm with you, Denny. That was kind of, frustrating to me too. It's like, okay, how do we, well, first of all, you got to find out what sin and obedience and all the rest of it are. Right. Then how do you do that in 2025, 2024, whenever anybody started this? And it's like, Alan was saying, well, he mentioned communion. And it's like, because that's the bread and the wine. And so, yeah, right, we can do that. That's one of the things that we can do, amongst other things. And we, at Shavuot, we wave our bread. We bring our bread and Alan, and we pray over it and everything. So there are things you just can't toss everything out. Yeah. And I don't know, Denny, do you listen to Tom Bradford at all?
Oh yeah, our Sunday night group, like a small home church group, is that's what we do. We get together, we talk, like 3 or 4 families. We get together, we share some time together. We just talk, catch up, have fun. Maybe someone who read something that week. We actually all share a meal together. We bring different stuff. Like each week's a different theme. From like sandwiches to pizza night to soup and sandwiches night, that kind of stuff. And then after that, we all go sit down together and we watch Torah class. Right now, as a group, we're working through Deuteronomy. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, Leviticus he does a really good really good study on all of that sacrifice, and there's different ones or whatever. And that was along with Alan, that was very clarifying. So yeah, anybody that has questions,
it's good stuff.
It's online. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good teacher, and it's free. Yeah.
Yeah. And his books are like a tome. I bought 2 of them because I wanted to be able to read. And I'm like, I got them in the mail, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. I actually got the Romans book a while back, and it's fairly thick, and I swear it's like 4-point type, really little. So I'm hoping like a different Romans book comes out soon or something.
4-point type?
Actually, I have one. Oh, I swear that the one from Tom Bradford, it's really tiny. Yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'll never read it because it's too small.
Yeah. I started reading yours and it's great. My concern is I think I'm going to my highlighter's going to run out of ink by chapter 2.
Oh my gosh. One thing about the new Romans, and I remember telling Alyssa this, was because I've read it a couple times since it's come out in book form. I'm really digging the layout, the font that we used. It's all the same sizing, but this one just seems to read a lot easier and smoother. I know that sounds weird, right? But whatever this font that we're using, that's what I'm seeing while I'm reading it. It's smoother and easier than the other books. I don't know. I know that sounds crazy, but yeah.
Oh, it makes sense. Yeah.
I'm very pleased by the layout.
Someone, I'm asking for a friend, wants to know if there's going to be a large print version.
A large print version.
I did not ask that. You're so silly.
No. This is it, man.
Hey, they make those magnifying glasses that actually you can put over your paper. So the whole page gets bigger instead of magnifying glass, looking at it.
Oh man.
Got one
I
of those.
thought it's the actual the main text is like 10.5, I think.
No, it works. It works.
We're just kidding.
Okay. Because I mean, you know how weird 11 would look? It would just look too big. It would be really awkward. I wonder how many more pages it would add to the book. People do that. People use big type and massive spacing to like make up for the fact that they don't have words or their number of words. So they'll have
like
more.
I did all through college.
Oh, I don't know.
I want video of your wife going like this on the book.
That's funny. Hey, Dave, how's it going? You don't call me no more. No one's even seen that movie. I always quote that. No one knows what I'm talking about. So, anybody else? Would anyone else like to share regarding Proverbs 21?
Sure.
Awesome.
Greetings from Montana.
Well, hello.
Hello. I was looking when Cynthia read 21:4. And I have the New American Standard pulled up. Haughty eyes and a proud heart, the lamp of the wicked is sin. Contrasting to Psalm 119:105, the word, thy word, your word, is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. So when we're discussing, debating, whatever, with a wicked person, they're seeing the world through sin. We're seeing the world through, a believer is seeing the world through the word. They're two separate languages. And I know people get frustrated. It's like, how can a person do that or see that or say that? I'm like, because they're looking through the world, looking at the world, looking at events, looking at everything through wickedness, through sin. We're looking through the word, and they're two completely different. It's Deuteronomy, choose life or death, back in 31:19. I set before you life and death.
Yeah.
Choose life. Here's the secret. Here's the answer in the back of the book. Choose life. We've chosen life. But people have chosen death. It's not a metaphor. People have literally chosen to walk in death.
They have.
And if they're walking in death and you're trying to speak to them life, there's, unless the Holy Spirit's going to break something down, you cannot communicate. You're a person speaking Hebrew to a person who speaks only Japanese, and there's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So it's just, I hadn't seen the, 119:105, obviously very famous, but I hadn't put together about the 21:4, the lamp of the wicked is sin. So their path is being lighted by sin. So, observation.
Nice. English Standard Version has another, or the plowing. Haughty eyes and a proud heart, the plowing of the wicked are sin. Isn't that interesting? The lamp, or...
Sorry, which version is that?
English Standard Version has a little subnote there, or in lieu of the lamp, the plowing. It's interesting.
Yeah, that's how it comes up in
Or the plowing.
CJB and the New King James is a plow.
Interesting.
I wonder how they get what's the correlation between the lamp or lamp and plowing?
Yeah, because the Hebrew is about tilling.
Yeah.
Tilling ground. I don't know where they get the lamp from, because it's actually tilling ground.
Interesting.
Could the lamp have something to do with the eyes?
11:36. Possibly. Let me see, the cross reference is 1 Kings 11:36. Yet to his son I will give one tribe, that David my servant may always have a lamp before me in Jerusalem, the city where I have chosen to put my name. And there's a bunch of cross references for that. That one's pushing it. That cross reference is pushing it towards the lamp. Interesting.
You know, the 3-letter root is about a lamp.
Yeah.
Candle.
Right. Well, yeah, like in the Shabbat prayer, like the Hebrew word is ner. So we're talking near and near. So it might be the
Like
same root.
a root somewhere.
I'm trying to verify that. But I know just from Shabbat prayers that it's ner for light or.
Yeah, then I wonder if it's the like vowel inflection as far as what changes it from the fallow ground to the light, because I'm looking at the interlinear on Bible Hub and it just shows the 2 letters, the N and the noon and the resh for fallow or tillable.
Okay, so here, this note on the Strong says a root probably identical with that of ner. The idea of the gleam of a fresh tilling of the soil. I got.
Did you guys figure it out?
Kind of. They're saying it's an identical root with lamp with near.
It's that Hebrew.
You know.
Anyone else? Anyone else?
I have a question.
Sure.
So it's actually a really serious question. I don't like it's serious, but it is. What's up with the inserts of the nagging?
What's up with the what?
The insert of the nagging wife.
Oh, the 2 times that it talks about that?
Yeah.
Apparently, when Solomon...
The guy had 300 wives.
And apparently 2 of them were nags.
One of them was, at least one of them, maybe 299 of them weren't happy.
And it almost got him killed, these wives. It wasn't good.
No. I'm just trying to figure out, like, it's just randomly in there. And I'm just, you're talking about wisdom and this, and then all of a sudden go sleep on the corner of a roof instead of with a nagging wife. And I'm just trying like,
so let's take it to look at the first one, verse 9. It's sandwiched between the way of the guilty is crooked, but the conduct of the pure is upright, and the soul of the wicked desires evil. His neighbor finds no mercy in his eyes. So it's sandwiched between those 2. So if I was a woman, if I was somebody's wife, I'd make sure to behave. and call my husband Lord like Sarah did.
So, and then my second question here.
We just lost a whole demographic.
Yeah. Nobody took you serious. But my second question, I know, surprising. My second question is, what, like, it's not always the wife. That's the issue. I'm just trying to figure out.
This might be a question for the Thursday night women's group.
But I'm just, why is it about the nagging wife? You know, because there's, who was it that, was it Dave? Oh, I can't remember. They went to, it was David, right? That went to, and the husband turned him away, and the wife said, "Oh no, we're going to feed you.
Yeah, so he kills the guy and takes his wife.
Oh, he didn't kill the guy. The guy died.
Okay.
God took him down. But, and then he took his wife. But anyways, like, obviously the guy is, like, sometimes not in the right. So I'm trying to find a proverb about that.
Let me see. Abigail. Isn't that her name?
Abigail and, like, Nadir? I can't remember
there are separate proverbs for a contentious husband.
What?
26:21. As coals are to burning coals and wood to fire, so is a contentious man to kindle strife. We had a brother-in-law like that.
It doesn't say husband.
I guess it didn't say husband. I apologize. It says man.
Yeah.
I'm like, where's the husband? And believe me, I understand.
Could be a husband.
Yeah, well,
That women,
man, male, husband.
but I'm just trying to figure out, like, why the inserting? Is it just because he had so many wives? I mean, that was his fault. Like, is that,
Well,
like,
isn't Proverbs kind of like mashed together? It's not like some of the other books where it's like, this is the historical story. Proverbs was like, this is just all the bits of wisdom.
Well, some of the proverbs were actually written as whole parts. You're suggesting that maybe it's a compilation of wise sayings. I think it maybe a combination of both, but some of these proverbs were actually written consciously by certain people.
okay. Well, and then lastly, I don't understand, and I had to go out of the room and then come back in. Maybe you talked about this. Is Proverbs 21:18. The wicked serve as a ransom for the righteous, and likewise the perfidious for the upright. I fast on Monday, so I don't exactly think straight. What do you mean ransom for the wicked or a ransom for the righteous?
Well, let's look it up.
The thought that comes to my mind is how when the children when the children of Israel were leaving Egypt, they got a ransom, you could call it, from all of Egypt. They finally had their years of service paid for when they left. So in a sense, it's like you're taking your price, your ransom from those that were against you, was the thought that came to my mind.
The cross-reference I have is Proverbs 11:8. The righteous man is rescued from trouble, and it comes on the wicked instead.
Okay. So that's that whole whatever the wicked plan for the righteous, that feeling goes back on the wicked.
Well, the New Living Translation says the wicked are punished in place of the godly, and traitors in place of the honest. That's how that's reading it.
I'm reading the complete Jewish Bible, so no.
The Bible in Basic English says the evildoer will be given as a price for the life of the good man, and the worker of deceit in the place of the upright. So it's actually suggesting that the word ransom is being used as a ransom. Good News Translation, the wicked bring on themselves the suffering they try to cause good people. I'm assuming Alyssa might be, if somebody's looking up the Hebrew. I don't want to do too much searching around because I don't want to crash, well, not crash, but I don't want to interrupt the live stream.
when you're talking about it like that, that reminds me of the story of Esther. You know how it ends.
Yeah. They were actually used as the there's an actual word for it. I can't think of the word. It's a big fancy $12 word. Perpetuary? Something like that? Is that the word I'm thinking of? Is anybody looking at the Hebrew?
It says it's a koper. Is ransom. Or sorry, kofer is how it's pronounced. So ransom, atonement, yeah, covering.
So it is suggesting that the wicked are those things for the righteous. Yeah, you don't want to be a bad guy. You want to be a good guy.
Yeah, a substitute is some of what it's too.
You have like the scapegoat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure if we go down the rabbit trail, that'll eventually pop up. Remember the scapegoat was sent to Azazel?
Yeah. I guess I'm just trying to see. I guess I'm just trying to figure out where the ransom comes in. I mean, I understand like a wicked person setting a trap for a righteous person and then them falling into that trap. But I'm trying to, generally when I think of a ransom, it's I took something and now you have to pay me to get it back. Like I'm just thinking, I guess in my mind I'm not
right. Well, so Jesus was the ransom for us, right? Something was taken from us. Well, it wasn't actually taken. It was we gave it away, but it still had to be gotten back for us from the enemy. When we sinned in the garden, we basically gave up the deed of the earth to Lucifer. Jesus takes that back as the ransom on our behalf, but then he's going to give us, he gives us the benefits of that ransom. Does that make sense? So he dies in our stead. He's the ransom on our behalf. But we're going to benefit. We're the ones that are going to benefit from it. Not only are we being ransomed, we're actually getting a whole bunch of stuff through that ransom. Sonship, joint heirs, right standing. We get the deed back, and he's going to be put under our feet.
Isaiah 43, 3 and 4 give a very good example as well.
What was that again?
Isaiah 43, 3 and 4.
What's it say?
For I am Yehovah, your Elohim, the Holy One of Israel, thy Savior. I gave Egypt for thy ransom, Ethiopia and Sheba for thee. Since thou wast precious in my sight, thou hast been honorable, and I have loved thee. Therefore I will give men for thee and people for thy life.
Which I understand the
Honest.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Get that. But the wicked are the ransom for the righteous. Jesus wasn't wicked.
No, but not all ransom are going to have to be Jesus. So Jesus is the ransom for us, and apparently the wicked are ransom for righteous people.
Okay, so wicked people
apparently are being used as ransom for good people. And we read these various ways that it is the various language in it.
So then I guess who's doing the ransoming?
God. God's in charge of all that. He's the one that decides this.
But I also know there's a Bible, there's a verse that says he doesn't even want the wicked to perish.
But they're going to.
Correct. I get they're going to, but I get they're going to. So who set the ransom? Usually, it's like, I took something and you have to pay me $1 million or whatever. So who set the ransom?
So a couple of anyone else can chime in as you want. One of the verses we read in another translation said that their evil deeds, what they're trying to do to the good people, the bad that they're trying to do is going to basically backfire and boomerang back on them. It's like, right, bounce back on them. And so that's how that ransoming is being done.
So they're setting.
Here, so Aspen, here's a good one. The wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous. That's a form of ransom.
Yeah, Proverbs 11:8. The righteous is rescued from trouble, but the wicked takes his place.
Yeah. Does that help? Who else can explain this? I mean, if you're not getting that one, does that help? What Hank just said? They're taking our place.
I mean, I read it as there's going to be a judgment coming upon somebody, and if you're righteous, he's going to pull you out and put the wicked person in, and that judgment, that retribution, that vengeance is going to come upon that wicked person.
Okay, but if we're righteous, then why do we need something to be in our place?
Can we look at this a little prophetically? Like when the wicked, which were the people that crucified, wanted Jesus, Yeshua crucified, the rabbis, the ilk of the time, they were wicked. And if you look at ransom, one of the words that comes with it is redeem. So if you look at the wicked redeem the righteous, so that would be kind of prophetic. And then you look at, and likewise, the faithless for the upright, again, they were faithless, and they had Yeshua crucified. So it makes kind of sense in that regard. Looking at it from that standpoint, it's like, it's just a little prophetic to me, but I may be wrong.
Maybe to another way to look at it that might help Joanna is with the story of Ruth and Naomi. When Boaz goes to ask the city elders, can I have Ruth? Can I marry Ruth? The verbiage that's used is it talks about that he's coming in as the kinsman redeemer for Naomi's line. So it's not that it's like a transactional, he's not paying a ransom in the way that our Western mind kind of sees it as like paying, to get something that's been kidnapped or stolen. But he's coming in and redeeming it. He's allowing Naomi's line to continue by taking in marrying Ruth. And that's where then, even though Ruth isn't technically the daughter of Naomi, it still follows down that's still how the line comes down to David and to Messiah.
Naomi was actually in line for Boaz, and she put Ruth in her place. Yeah. That's a good example.
I guess then I don't understand why they didn't just use redeem instead of ransom. And I guess that's where I'm getting stuck. Because when I think of ransom, it, you have to pay me this to get this back. And like, is it a ransom between like Satan and God, or like, I don't know. I'll have to do some more into it because again, I can understand Jesus, but I don't look at him I guess kind of, I see him as a ransom because in the whole courts of heaven, Satan is like, no, you have to give me this to get this person. Okay. So in the courts of heaven, I can see, where we're cleaned by the blood of Jesus, but I don't see how the righteous are redeemed by giving the wicked. And
Well,
just trying to.
Let me read the definition of the Hebrew word here that's being used for ransom.
Okay.
Properly, a cover. Literally, a village as covered in. Specifically, bitumen, as Tim was saying, as used for coating. And the henna plant as used for dyeing, like hair dye or clothing dye. Figuratively, a redemption price, bribe, pitch, ransom, satisfaction, sum of money, village, ransom, a price of a life, ransom, bribe, asphalt, pitch as a covering, the henna plant, a village. These are the words that it's representing. So, does that help? I like the henna idea. It's like it's being used to change the color, to cover up, to change the dyeing.
So basically, and I guess
in proxy, it's like a proxy.
Like a proxy.
Yeah. So instead of the righteous, the wicked are being used as a ransom for the righteous, and the traitor for the upright. That's what it's saying here.
Yeah, I don't know. I just, and again, maybe it's just I'm stuck on why would the wicked be able to be used to righteous?
Well, because they're wicked. So they're going to be used in lieu of the righteous, because the righteous are good, the wicked are bad. So the bad are being used instead of the good in proxy as a replacement, as a substitution. Does that help?
Could it be that, Joanna, that you are thinking in terms of the wicked being the ones in charge? They're not the ones that have the authority. It's God who has the authority, and he chooses to take them instead of us.
That's what I'm trying to figure out, is who is setting the playing field? You mean, because, and again, if the righteous are upright and righteous, then why is there a ransom being needed for them? So I'm just trying to figure out. And I understand sacrifice, animals, and all that stuff. And I guess the sacrifice is a ransom, because it's like, hey, if you want to do suffering, you got to do a goat or sheep or whatever it is. You mean, I can understand that. I'm just trying to figure out how the wicked.
So think of the scapegoat. Yeah. The scapegoat, all the sin of the people was put on the scapegoat. All the evil was put on the scapegoat, poor little guy, and then he's released into the desert, into the waterless places. He was sent to Azazel. Well, the wicked are being used. God's using the wicked in the same way he's using the scapegoat.
Okay, but again, really quickly, the poor little goat didn't do anything wicked.
But that's besides the point. That really isn't. That's besides the point.
I guess it's, well, to me, okay, to me it's not beside the point, and this is the reason being. The wicked do things intentionally wrong, right? Because that's why they're wicked, right?
Based on what Romans 1 says, the wicked know that they're wicked, and they've deliberately and consciously have chosen not to serve God.
Okay. I just want to make sure that I'm understanding that correct. A goat and an innocent animal doesn't know they're wicked and they're innocent. So, we have to sacrifice.
You can't use the word innocent, because if they don't do anything, if they're not humans. Humans are innocent or guilty. These animals are actually bred for this purpose, right? I mean, there was actual animals bred to be sacrificed on behalf of the people.
I'm going to have to pray on that and read into it a little bit more. And again, I think I'm just in the point of who set the ransom.
God's in charge of that.
All right. Here's a couple more context for you. How about Lot? When God said, I'm going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, and because of so many wickedness, and Abraham was negotiating with him, how about 50? How about 40? How about, you could say, he couldn't even find 10, but Lot was pulled out, and the rest of them were destroyed. Yeah. The wicked were destroyed, but Lot was saved. So the wicked were put in, Lot was pulled out. Or in a larger context, the many, many, many times is the nation of Israel decided to stop following righteousness. Now, when I say the nation, I say there's several million people. There's still going to be, as he's, when he told Isaiah, there's 7,000 never bent a knee, but the majority of the people were still following the Baals or whatever they may be. So he was going to punish the nation, but his punishment was going to be on the unrighteous, the wicked, and the righteous. They were taking the place of those who were being pulled out. Or a current context would be the Palestinian trade going on in Gaza right now. So we got a whole bunch of Palestinian terrorists that we had to trade for Israel IDF soldiers. So you got the wicked, we had to give up in their place. So just trying to put some context, some different scenarios there.
Yeah, I think that does help, Hank, because what popped into my head was, just think about if a child is kidnapped and that kidnapper asks for a ransom, it's not the child that's doing anything wrong to warrant needing a ransom. It's the kidnapper who's imposing the ransom. It's not because the child, we'll go with the innocent, the righteous, whatever, did something wrong to require a ransom. They were brought into a situation by someone doing wrong. So I guess that for me kind of separates it from what did they do to need a ransom, is somehow they ended up in this situation. We know that the enemy seeks to steal, kill, and destroy, right? That doesn't mean that we are going to escape all trouble and all, Yeshua says, in this world you will have trouble. We're not going to just escape everything scot-free because we are walking in righteousness and striving for that. Sorry, I'm letting somebody in. But that doesn't mean that there might not be a time when we need a ransom and a covering. That word, kofer, that is translated for ransom, is the same word that becomes Yom Kippur. It's the same covering, the same, some of the other, the root word is to placate, to stand in the place of, to cover over. So I guess I just don't see it as the ransom being needed because of something the righteous did or didn't do. It's on the outside, the person who is imposing the ransom, more than the righteous needing a ransom for a reason, other than being stuck in a bad situation.
Yeah.
And it might not even be being stuck in a bad situation. Consider Job. Have you considered where have you? Satan comes in and literally enters the throne room of God, and God turns to him and says, "Where have you come from? What have you been doing?" Well, I've been roaming the earth. Have you considered my servant Job? There is no one like him. He's toying with him. He is showing a personality of himself. And I think if we're gonna sit and we're gonna question, well, why does a righteous need a ransom? What did a righteous do? That's the epitome of Job. What did I do? I'm sitting here. I've not sinned. I'm blameless. I've done nothing wrong. and they're just his three friends keep attacking him, and well no, until they could find no fault in him, and he was justified in his own eyes, and so they remained quiet. And so pretty soon then God says, hey, I'm gonna question you like a man. You're gonna question me, I'm gonna question you like a man. So we're fine approaching this until God speaks and says, this is why. So I understand difficult when we might not have an answer and we say because God's ways are not our ways. But when we understand that God's ways are not our ways, then we can question and search, and let's question and search to find the answer, not to not find the answer. And okay, so the answer is the wicked are ransomed for the righteous. We don't understand that. So, Father, help us understand that. Well, there's been a slew of biblical support that says, okay, here is the witnesses, because everything has to be established by 2 or 3 witnesses. Here's a number of witnesses that says, okay, this goes here. And then we take that and okay, so this is a great thing to take and to struggle with. And after it's all said and done, then God gets to be God and gets to say, have you considered this person? Have you considered that person? He gets to say, I hardened Pharaoh's heart. I did that so that my majesty gets to be fulfilled. I did that because I want to reveal myself. And God says, who are and don't hear this coming as a rebuke at all, because that's not what this is. But God gets to say, who are you, O clay, to question the potter? Why did you make me this way? We don't have that permission. We don't have that permission. We don't have that permission.
Verse 15 is very similar as far as the idea behind verse 18. It's the same kind of thing. When justice is done, it is a joy to the righteous, but it's terror to evildoers. It's kind of in the same area. Why would justice be terrifying to someone that's evil? Because they don't function in that realm. So it's a threat to them. There's like a yin and yang thing going on here.
I guess how I'm looking at it as is that in the spiritual realm that I can't see, maybe some of you guys can see, but is that there's just people that are just wicked. Like there's nothing they can do about it.
Yeah.
And Satan is saying, okay, you owe me some souls. So what are you going to give me? That's how I saw that as like Satan going, hey, I'm here to kill, steal, and destroy. And I'm watching these people because he knows the law better than we do. And so he's like,
Lucifer doesn't have any rights or privileges. God doesn't owe him a freaking thing.
It's not an owing, but it's a.
I'm just saying that because that's the word you use.
Okay.
He doesn't. He's.
I'm just trying to say in my head. This is what I'm looking at is that he just like he came to God about Job. You know what I mean? Came to him was like, hey, he's only doing this because you protect him. But I guess.
But Job but Job still honored God without that protection.
No, I get it.
Right.
He did. I guess what I'm just gonna have to pray on this and look through this, because the reference to 15, I guess, doesn't help me in reading this one, because again, how can the wicked serve as a ransom for the righteous? That I'm just getting stuck in there, because I mean, the only person that should really be needing ransom at that time is the wicked.
But they've rejected the ransom, which is why they're wicked. Did you know that the throne room of God, where the bottom of the throne room of God is transparent, and underneath there are the wicked? They're like constantly in eternal fire and damnation at the feet of God, and God sees this. Like, this is like his vantage point. I mean,
correct.
It's a crazy cosmic thing.
Yes. And I guess again, it's the whole how, and I'll just have to look at it. The wicked serve as a ransom. I'm like, I thought the only thing that could serve as a ransom was something without a blemish, and that's where I'm stuck. So,
I mean, I don't know in this case, because it's not necessarily God that's requiring that ransom. Like, Satan just wants a body. Satan just wants a soul. Like, if he's already gonna get, I don't know, that to me with, again, like, if we're swapping, we're trading, you're still getting this soul, and God's willing to let this one who is against him cover to rescue his righteous one. It's a one-to-one trade. Satan doesn't care if they're righteous or not. He just wants what he can get, right? He's gonna kill one either way. I don't know. Kind of like what Hank said about the swaps with having to let the Hamas soldiers go to get your IDF back. That stuck out to me. Like, that makes,
yeah.
I don't know.
okay. Sorry, didn't mean to take some time.
Split on it. See what happens.
Again, I just say it's the whole serving as a ransom thing is where I'm getting stuck, because
Maybe is it the word ransom? Think about the actual definitions in the Hebrew: covering, and it's like a dye. Look at those words. See if that'll help.
But they still, I don't know how the wicked can serve as a covering. When I think of covering, I think of protection.
Well, think of it as more of a proxy. In lieu of.
Right, that's right.
I don't know what else to tell you.
Well, because when I think of proxy, because I deal in voting, a proxy isn't in lieu of, because it's actually what I wanted. So it still wouldn't make sense to me. So.
Thanks for playing along. Yeah, but the wife thing, bring that up on a Thursday night, woman's chat there.
I have a thing for the wife thing. I have an answer.
Oh, okay, give it to us.
Okay, so here's Solomon, right? He's writing some really great stuff down. He's writing it down.
About
ransoms.
ransoms.
And he writes the way of the guilty is devious, but the conduct of the innocent is upright. And he goes, yeah, that sounds good. And then all of a sudden, honey, take out the garbage, please. I've been waiting for I don't know how long. Take out the garbage. Yeah, okay, hon. And then he continues, he writes. And then here it is again. Okay. He writes, better it is to live in a desert than with a quarrelsome, ill-tempered woman.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
There you have the reason why it's in there.
That's totally plausible. Oh man.
Well, if he would just learn the first time, then she wouldn't have been nagging the rest of the time. Just saying.
Or maybe, Cynthia, to your point, maybe it was like 10 of them that came in and they were like, hey, she did.
10 of them.
He's like, I'm done.
Poor guy.
Just for the record, I didn't understand those references at all. I don't really understand what they're talking about.
Oh.
And the award goes to.
Yep.
Yeah, you have to say that. The elbow will get you otherwise.
Oh, man. That's funny. All right. Anyone else? Anything? Anyone else? Anything else? Well, then you're all dismissed. All right. Tomorrow's Tuesday. We got a Tuesday morning thing going on. Chameleon Church Show, 8:45 a.m. Central. Thanks for hanging out on your Monday night. Appreciate that. Phyllis, did you just fall? Phyllis, it looked like you fell. Are you okay? We can't hear you. You're muted. Here, we can unmute you. Hold on one second. Oh, she's gone. All right. We will see you guys later. We'll see you in the morning. Hey, thanks for hanging out. Good to see everybody again. Ciao.
always within you, and you hold my hand. clean without sin. I'll proclaim your decrees, and you will make me your son. With my heart I will praise you, and your wonders I'll tell. I will lay down in peace, and in your safety I'll dwell. I will guard all my ways as I sin with my mouth. Redeem the impure. Stand before you in anger. Oppose you in court. Set the clean without sin. I'm a stranger among them, an alien son. While the gatekeepers mock me with a drunken song, I am old and forsaken, and my strength is gone. Yet I'm always within you, and you hold my hand.
The views and opinions expressed during our broadcasts are solely those of the broadcast producers, hosts, and/or guests, etc., and are not necessarily the views or opinions of the Travelog Network, its sponsors, or affiliates.